Ayo, what is up, legends? Apologies for being so inactive on my channel this past week. I would love to do this full time and drop like 3 videos a week, but gotta do what I gotta do. It is what it is. Gotta get that bread, gotta work. So, I'm back now, finally. Worked on the weekend to get out this Cawpine dungeon ranking event. There are tons of useful characters for this event, but the ones I recommend are Sephiroth, Cloud, Aerith, and Yuffie. Same with weapons, there are tons of useful weapons. If you have any one of these maxed out or close to it, grab them and use them. As for the recommended weapons though, I would say the best are Yuffie's Boomerang, her Arctic Star as well, Sephiroth's Radiant Edge, Cloud's Murasame and Sky Splitter, and Aerith's Wizard Staff is pretty good as well. What you want to bring to this ranking event is of course lightning and fire materia or abilities. You might need a healing Essener for poison, and you might also need a Brave depending on your team comp. Take a quick look at the bosses and their chance abilities. You can go through this in your own time. The big boss of the dungeon is Yuffie this time around, with 2 Sahagin princes, and the smaller boss is the Levrikon, the chicken. This is the route that I take. Yours might be different, but I go for the Ice Scorpion first, grab the score boost. Then I go for the Motor Ball, and I grab the Fire Potency and Fire Resist down duration. Thirdly, I go for Elena and grab the score boost again. Then the Scorpion Sentinel, grabbing the score boost once more, and I'll finish off with Yuffie. I also do a little bonus run at the end where I go for the chicken instead. Here's the points distribution for the item usage in the dungeon, and this is my team. I got Sephiroth, Cloud, and Aerith, and some of my weapons are not very strong. So for Sephiroth, I went with Clairide on my main hand, and I went with the Radiant Edge, which I only have 1 copy of, but it's good for the physical defense decrease and the fire resist down. I went with his outfit, which is not that great for my build, but yeah. Obviously X materia. Then his sub-equipment are these weapons, and that gives him physical attack level 7 and boost limit break potency level 6. So I went with that. I only have level 1 fire, level 4 attack, 2 physical ability potency, and 2 HP. Obviously I went with his limit break instead of a summon, so I can make use of my build obviously. Then I went with Cloud with his fire garb, and obviously Ifrit as his summon. Then he has the Sky Splitter in the main hand and Murasame in the offhand. I gave him a Brave and obviously the X Sigil. Then sub-weapons are these, and I ended up with boost physical attack 7, boost fire 4, lightning 3, attack 3, HP 3, and of course the Flame Blade Arcanum. Lastly, I went with Aerith as my healer, and I actually main hand with Ramu. And I actually main-handed her Wizard Staff for the AoE thunder damage. And of course her healing weapon as well. She has the X as always, fire as well, and another Brave for Yuffie. Her sub-equipment gives her boost magic attack level 7, lightning potency level 4, heal level 4, magic ability potency 3, and HP 3. Now, that is my team. 3k magic and about 7k HP, 3k physical, 7k, 7.8 and 3k physical. Alrighty, let's take a look at the map or the Cawpine Caverns. You start off in the top, and then on the top left and top right are some bosses. The Scorpion, Ice Scorpion is on the left. You can see his Trances, and on the right is the Motor Ball, and they are his Trances. Then when you go down, the final boss is actually in the middle of the dungeon, and that's Yuffie. You can see the chests all around. And on the bottom left is the Scorpion Sentinel. And on the bottom right is Elena. And on the very bottom is the Chicken Boss. As for odds and ends, on the left side and right side at the bottom, you will come across gates that you need to open with keys. So there will be a gate over here, and once you pass through the gate, you're going to fight a random battle over there as well. Same thing on the right side, there's a gate and a random battle as you go past. Let's jump into my run. I go with the Ice Scorpion first. I did not bring healing Essener for poison. So my strategy here is to use Thundaga with Aerith and Sephiroth's AoE Sweeping Slash, and then Thundaga with Aerith again, so that Sephiroth can use his physical defense and fire down, and then I just spam him with fire as fast as possible. He gets his poison missiles off, but I finish him quick enough that it doesn't cause a problem. I get 66.8k, and I grab the score boost. I have to grab as many score boosts as I can here to get into the top 100, so I'm pretty much almost always going to be grabbing score boost, with the exception of the Motor Ball. So for him, I just take out the Wranglers real quick with Thunder Blows from Sephiroth, and then I switch to Cloud and just spam Thunderstrike with the Murasame, while my teammates take down the Sigils for X. And I have enough damage to take this guy out, so I plan to, as soon as I break the Sigils, I'll switch to defense, so that free ATB can be used to heal me up, and then I can switch back to attack and finish him off. There'll be enough time for that. Now for the Motor Ball's Trance ability, I can't take the score boost because the reduction in defenses just make me get one shot by Elena and Yuffie. So I actually go for the fire potency and the fire resist down duration because I have Sephiroth's Radiant Edge. So that's the only score boost I couldn't take because, as I said, Elena and Yuffie would one-shot me with the reduced defense. Now I grab the items and the keys. And then I make my way down to the bottom of the map. And for my run, I take on Elena on the right, take her on first. Because one, I don't want her to be too strong at a higher crisis level. And for two, I can manage the lightning potency that I lose from her Trances. So random battle, pick them down however you want, just make sure that the guys on the left and right don't get their vengeance off. Use some items if you need to. I use an ether for Aerith so she can heal because Elena will throw an AoE grenade quite early in the fight, so be careful for that. I get one physical defense and fire resist down on her. Then she grenades, I defend it, heal up, and then I drop the second physical defense fire resist down. And once that's applied, I use my limit breaks. That way I can get the most out of my Ifrit summon and take her down fairly quickly. After that, it's just a matter of spamming fire as fast as possible to finish her down. And I do it in this order because the Motor Ball I feel like is a bit more annoying than the Scorpion. So I take the score boost here, I lose a bunch of offensive stats and lightning potency. But I can make up for that with items. And that's why I do the Motor Ball first, because if I drop the lightning potency, the Motor Ball would be a little too much to deal with. So, yeah. And the drop in lightning potency is actually kind of useful for this random battle, because you do sort of less damage, and that gives you more time to heal up and charge your limit breaks and summon. Make sure you take the Wrangler down first, and then you can handle the sweepers. And then if you're following the same route as me, you definitely want to use Thunder Cocktails here, because that drop in lightning potency is going to make it tough to take out the Scorpion. Also give Aerith a summon charge, because she has my Rama. And then Thunder Cocktails for my thunder damage dealers. Go into this spot, and I just try to charge up my limit break with Sephiroth as fast as possible. And then I drop Judgment Bolt and Astral Gate, but I hold off on using Hellfire because this boss resists fire. And then he uses tail lasers in quick succession, so try to burst him down as fast as possible. Sadly, I get hit by the first laser, but I manage to burst him before the second one. So he'll use 2 lasers quite quickly after each other, and then a third laser not long after that. So you want to get rid of him as soon as possible. I got 67k, and that was good. Go for the score boost again, and this time I lose more offensive stats and I lose fire potency, making the final battle pretty tough, but my team is strong enough to handle it. So head over to Yuffie and use what items you need to. I used the item list that I showed in the beginning of the video, and I was deciding, would it be better to just use a Mega Elixir or all of these other items, because I'll need my summons and limit breaks to be maxed, so I would need to use a summon charge, an elixir for Sephiroth, and then supplements and all of these things, and they add up to be quite a lot. So I decided that a Mega Elixir is probably just the best shot for me. So I popped that and jumped straight into the boss fights. Of course, I dropped fire cocktails for everyone and a thunder cocktail for Aerith because she runs Rama. Now for Yuffie, if you have taken a lot of score boosts, you might not have many offensive stats. I do the same strategy with using Sephiroth's Radiant Edge ability first to lower the defense and fire resistance, and then I drop my limit breaks. And with all the reduction in damage and potency, I don't even finish off the Sahagins, so I quickly switch to them, defend the Landscaper, then finish them off. And then I alternate between lowering her physical defense and fire resistance with Sephiroth, healing with Aerith, and using Debraves with Aerith and Cloud. Once her physical attack is down, then I start hitting with the command ability for Sky Splitter, Cloud's fire ability, excuse me. And then after a while, she'll go into a stream phase. And there it is. You want to try and use all your ATB, especially on your main DPS before this ends, so that it gets refunded and you can spam your strongest fire ability again. She gives herself more attack, but you kind of want to just finish her off as fast as possible. So once all of my limit breaks are up and her fire resist is down to mid, I use everything. And this is where it gets dicey, because not long after this, she will use Bloodbath, which will almost always one-shot one of your characters, unless you have a lot of HP and you're topped up. You want to try and burst her before Bloodbath. And that is it. Not bad, considering a lot of the weapons I was using in this dungeon were not very strong, and my fire potency and lightning potency was not very high. So this is my end result. Ended up with 1.789, and that was an S+, and enough to get me in the top 100. I might need to follow up and better my scores a bit to stay in the top 100, but for now that's good enough. And as a bonus clip, I have a run where if you can't handle Yuffie, if Yuffie is just too much for you, I actually managed to get a similar score by taking on the bird instead of Yuffie. But this time I took all of these score boosts, including the 10% that reduces your physical and magical defense. And that gives you 50% score boost. And with the bird, was enough for me to get about the same score. So you could do this route as well. I handled the Scorpion in much the same way. Grabbing the score boost for every single chance ability is the score boost. And because I'm lowering my defenses, and as I mentioned previously, I get one shot by Elena and Yuffie, that means I'm going to do Elena before I drop my defense. So after the Ice Scorpion, I actually do the 2 random battles to charge up my gauges for Elena. Hope you guys are having a great day or night, by the way. And yeah, I really wish I could have done more videos this week, but work was long and hard. Right, so after the random battles are down, I'm a bit closer to my gauges. So I take on Elena. They're very similar strategy. I use one of Sephiroth's debuffs from his Radiant Edge. Actually, I use 2 for this time while I'm charging my gauges. And then as soon as effort is up, I use Hellfire and Hellfire only. Because as the second boss, she's weak enough to get taken down by just that. Grab the score boost. And now this time you have to make up for the loss in lightning potency in both the Motorball and Scorpion fights. So you want to drop Thunder Cocktails on your lightning damage dealers. Get rid of those pesky Rangdas first, and then start dealing with the Motorball. I use very much the same strategy, spamming Thunderstrike with Cloud while my teammates break the X sigils. Then I use the interrupt phase to do as much damage as possible and also top up on heals. This time I'm not strong enough to just finish him in the interrupt phase, but as long as you finish him before rolling fire, you should be good to go. And even if you take rolling fire, it's not the worst thing in the world. Now this time I take the score boost here as well, which I didn't take before. So I lose a lot of defenses. Then I head on over to the Scorpion. Very much same thing here. You have to get the Thunder Cocktails because of the loss in lightning potency. I change to Earth and spam her abilities so that I can get her summon up, and then I drop, same as last time, Judgment Bolt and Astral Gate. because the fire is going to do no damage. Same thing, he's going to use tail lasers in quick succession, so try and burst him down as fast as possible, while defending the tail lasers, of course. Right, final score boost, and now, because we took the 10% that drops our defenses, we can't really beat Yuffie, but we can take on the bird. I'm just going to pop a Mega Elixir here as well, and of course fire cocktails, because the bird is also weak to fire. I always start with Sephiroth debuffing his physical defense and fire resist, and then I drop my limit breaks and summons to do as much damage as possible. Eventually he will go into a sigil phase, break that pretty easily with X, and then try and burst him as fast as possible with your best fire moves after that, because he will start becoming a huge nuisance after that. And there it is, bursted him, and my score is very similar to the one where I took on Yuffie. With the extra little 10% score boost, I got 1739. So that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day or night, and I'll see ya.